Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I'll put my thumbnail up here real quick so people don't think I'm doing a replay of another broadcast because I had this Thomas Sowell comment up, but I do have a partial resurrection of my system. So we'll see how it works tonight. We'll see. So anyway, I hope you all are doing well. And I had to do my title on the fly. But anticipation, what are we anticipating? Just like my thumbnail says, this is what I'd like to see happen on my thumbnail. I have Court Marshal Kelly impeach Walsh, deport Omar, and jail Hannah Dugan, because all the pieces are in place for that. We'll talk about that some more in a little bit. But what I always do, I play some videos while people come in and get relaxed and get themselves a cup of coffee or maybe a libation, adult libation, or a cold brouhaha, whatever you want to have. So anyway, then we'll be like butter and get on roll.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play games? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. If the deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all are doing well. That was a pre-recorded. I got that off my one of my live streams because my entire library has been wiped out. But good thing I've been posting a lot of it. A lot of my little short clips and videos. But anyway, we shall prevail. We shall soldier on. And I hope you guys are doing great and ready for Christmas. And what kind of Christmas do you want to have? You know, it's all up to you. It's all up to you. What kind of Christmas do you want to have? You can have a little Charlie Brown tree, you know, or you can have a great big tree. Here, do you want what? How you want to have a Merry Christmas or you want to have Happy Holidays? Oh my God. Anyway, let me see who's coming to see me tonight. I'm going to have a Merry Christmas. Hi, Sandman. Hi, Sissy. Gary. Rain. Todd. Elva. Robin. Ann's here. Debbie's here. Nice to see you. Felix. Joan Rivers knew. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She knew. We all knew. Yeah, my Joan Rivers could all my ever. Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Hi, Cole. How you doing? Robin's here. Yeah, picture show. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do about 2 a week, and then most everything else is gonna be talking heads, because man, it's a lot of time. You know, I might try something else too, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm going to have a... Hi, Wayne. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. And thank you for going by Buy Me a Coffee earlier tonight, Wayne. I appreciate it. Along with everybody else who went to Buy Me a Coffee. Let's see. Rebecca's here. Yeah, they're done. Let's see. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. David, how you doing? I since I got Greta's picture up there, but I along with Wayne went by there earlier in the week. Well, where were we at? We're Sunday. Ann went by there, and Miss Minder Sue, and Mike and Bev, and Norm, and Roland. Maybe we'll see Roland tonight. But anyway, I give him some booms. Boom. There you go. Pow. Anyway, folks, I got that geared up, ready to go. My bombs are geared up, ready to go. Damon's here. Nice to see you. But anyway, who can argue about this? Who can argue about this? I want to get Mr. T's face in there where he's looking at this screen. Court Marshal Kelly. What's his name? Mark Kelly. Impeach Tim Walz. Deport Ilhan Omar. Sharia law. Jail Hannah Dugan. Poopy Dugan. Why not? Why not? It's all there. Did you see the clip of Mark Kelly where he was mouthing off? Tim Walz, too. They're weaponizing government against me. We spent years watching Trump and his family sitting in courtrooms and getting mugshots taken, having their homes raided. Oh, yeah, we're just spinning it around on you. And, I could have put more in here. I could have put more. But these are, as we've heard before, optics are important. Now, everybody's hollering about the Epstein files. 10 years we've known about them. 10 years we tried to talk about them and got kicked off of platforms, barred on Facebook. The FBI, the C.I.A. telling platforms who to bar and what words could be said, put it in the algorithm where they can zero in on broadcasts and knock people out of the game. Oh, but now they think they're going to get Trump with the Epstein files. What a joke. The left is sickening. That's my new saying. The left are sickening. Jackie, how you doing? Darla's here. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. I'll try to catch up with it. But anyway, so here we have. What do y'all think about that? These are 4 steps that could be taken. And we're at the end of the weekend now, with the news cycle. And we've got, I meant to get that video, but I would have had to upload it and edit the edges of it and all that stuff. But of the tanker getting boarded, another tanker, it's 2 more. There's an operation going on as we speak. I think they were in pursuit of a tanker, and they caught up to by now. And so we boarded one. We're going to talk about that after we've already seized the first one. So, the gloves are off, as DJT says, the president, DJT. And what was it? Gavin Newsom gave a speech. He said, we got to fight fire with fire. Oh, we're starting to hear some of these words that we've heard from other sources being repeated. And that makes me feel good, too. Because we know a lot of these people have been gotten by the collar already, been shaken till their little marble brain rattles around inside their skull. And because this is not just for our country, but it's for civilization. We're gonna save this country, but we got one chance. One chance. And this is it. Now is the time and the hour. But how do we do it and maintain the highest level of civility in our body politic and in our citizenry? How do we keep things from spiraling out of control where as few innocents as possible get injured? So I say these 4 things on the screen at least are ripe for action to be taken where we can see people who are culpable start to pay a price. I'm not saying impeach Tim Walz and then dust our hands off. That's step number 1. He'd still be subject to prosecution. There's malfeasance and there's misfeasance in government. And the way how did I used to remember that? Malfeasance, I kind of liken to in my mind. I'm just saying how I categorize the two. Malfeasance, I tucked away in my mind the term malicious. Okay, malfeasance, malicious. So it's like a purposeful screw up of government. And misfeasance, I kind of tucked the word away in my head. Mistake. Okay, stupid. Misfeasance. You know, you got a idiot at the switch. So that's a way to remember it. So if you hear somebody getting in trouble for malfeasance, you know that it's much more serious than somebody in trouble for misfeasance. So anyway, just a little inside ball on how my old brain putters along through life. So impeaching Tim Walz, that wouldn't be the end of the story. And there's much more than malfeasance or misfeasance, but that's generally how they get people out of office or punish people that are in office. Now, any crimes that they've done that, you know, didn't, like with Trump, he's got immunity for actions taken during the course of his duties. You know, Tim Walz doesn't have a duty to knowingly allow people to raid the coffers for billions of dollars, you know. And we know part of the reason, a big part of the reason, is to preserve a voter base, to preserve a method of registering and entering, actually entering ballots that can keep them in power. And then you have the unjust enrichment. Well, that's more of enrichment, but that's more of a civil matter. This isn't unjust enrichment. It's outright fraud, theft, embezzlement, whatever you want to put on it. Kelly, they've upped his, as you all know, they've upped his case, so to speak, to a formal commander's inquiry, or however they word it. So, yeah, let's go through that. Let's have a national discussion on the sport. You can tell he's freaking out because his veins were poking out on the side of that cue ball head of his, that bald-headed little noggin had veins sticking out while he was, and his eyes were bugged out, you know. So he's worried. And then Ilhan Omar, she slithered into a crack somewhere. You know, she got mouthy, you know, said all the wrong things. But she's hiding. And so's that other one. What's her name? Rashida Tlaib. Just get rid of them. You know, we can do it. There's enough there. And then we've got to get these thousands, tens of hundreds of thousands of parasites have to be gotten out. And people can say, oh, you're being racist. Somebody, you know, hey, they're just a group. I mean, part of many groups that are at the hog trough, okay? And people that are on the hamster wheel saying, I go to work, I do what I'm supposed to do, I watch my football games, I try to raise my kids. Oh, I got to go back to work. Oh, you know, they don't have time to keep up with these nefarious individuals, these insidious individuals. And now that they're seeing what's happening, and who said it was around $1 trillion a year? $1 trillion a year for multiple years is what has been outright stolen, you know? And it's even worse than that. It's even worse than that. I'll get into it. But healthcare costs, so-called healthcare costs, are just another fraud. And we'll get into that. It's, you know, when somebody else people think to themselves, somebody else is paying for this. Watch those prices go up, okay? Through the roof. Nobody pays attention. That's how you get $1,000 toilet seats in the military and stuff like that. $50 Tylenol pill or $100. So, who came in while I was? Fish, how you doing? Yes, free Tina Peters. Yeah, yeah, Miss Mendersue, how you doing? And we're slapping around. They're trying to reconstitute themselves. They're in ISIS. 70 sorties at least that have gone over there, and so anyway, then we rub it in real good with Trump. Trump renaming, well, Trump didn't rename it, but here, I'll put this up for you. Here, put this back up for you so you all remember. Whoa, wait a minute. Come on, studio. Oh, my goodness. Come on now. I'm trying to redo this thing, and it's giving me fits. I don't know what that's doing on the screen. I get it off there. Anyway, there's Greta back up there. There she is. Anyway, so Trump has the honor of having the Kennedy Center renamed, and it's driving these liberals nuts. And I love it. I love it. But anyway, listen to this character here. Look at him. Look at his indignant little face. And that's what he's going to say is why it's so important that these judges that participated in this coordinated libel and slander campaign, okay, pay a price, okay? Anyway, I'll go ahead and play it.
Feeling like democracy died today. This is history happening today, and we should all be shocked that a felon, a convicted felon, and a thug, and by all means a grifter, has just stuck his name on top of a national monument. This is a desecration.
A convicted felon, a grifter, a thug. Well, I wish I was there. Not only would I laugh at him, I would call him names. I certainly would. I'd call him names I won't repeat. They wouldn't be filthy names, but they would be, as far as I'm concerned, hitting the nail on the head. And that needs to be done. I tell you what, Turning Point USA is having their little soiree going on, and it's interesting. I got a clip from J.D. Vance. He's trying to set the tone for TP USA, for just, kind of quell the infighting, right? We're not here to fight. And Charlie didn't exclude people, but let J.D. Vance tell it.
Side of you, I mean all of you, each and every one. President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests. He says, "Make America great again," because every American is invited. We don't care if you're white or black, rich or poor, young or old, rural or urban, controversial or a little bit boring, or somewhere in between. People of every faith come to our banner because they know that the America First movement will make their lives better, and they also know that the Democrats don't care about anything other than maybe transing their kids. So if you love America, if you want all of us to be richer, stronger, safer, and prouder, you have a home on this team. I didn't bring a list of conservatives to denounce or to deplatform, and I don't really care if some people out there, I'm sure we'll have the fake news media, denounce me after this speech. But let me just say, the best way to honor Charlie is that none of us here should be doing something after Charlie's death that he himself refused to do in life. He invited all of us here. Charlie invited all of us here for a reason, because he believed that each of us, all of us, had something worth saying, and he trusted all of you to make your own judgment. And we have far more
important things to do than be trying to tear each other down. So I agree with that. You know, and like, what's the latest thing going on is that Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's fussing with Candace Owens, and Tim Pool is sticking his 2 cents in, and all this stuff. I was thinking maybe we could have a celebrity boxing match with Brigitte Macron, okay? Brigitte Macron versus Candace Owens. But no, wait a minute. We can't have men and women's sports. So, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll have Brigitte fight Ben Shapiro. There you go. That would be a good one. For charity, of course, a boxing match. So I don't know. I stay out of that, you know. let them go after each other. But I agree with Vance, JD Vance. Enough is enough. But anyway, so I didn't get this. I meant to upload this video, but the Ruskies put up a video of it. Of the ship was called the Century, the landing of the MSRT Special Unit of the U.S. Coast Guard on the oil tanker Century under the flag of Liberia, under the coast, off the coast of Venezuela. Unsurprisingly, the announced escort of tankers by the Venezuelan fleet, namely the military, did not help. And then they added, and could not have helped. Boy, if they'd have done anything against our coasties, it would have been this is where it could, if I had a great editor, I'd have, wipeout. It would have been a wipeout. So, yeah, they had the military. We'll show them. We'll escort our boats with the military. Well, the tanker wasn't even part of a shadow fleet. They wouldn't have probably even touched it or bothered it or boarded it. But since they want, that might have been why they put the military around it. Because they knew it wasn't a targeted vessel. And they thought, well, that'll make us look tough because it's not a targeted vessel. They won't do anything. And they'll say, everyone will think we scared off the Americans. Well, no. Now we want to land on it. Thank you very much. You gave us a good reason. Hi, Farmy. How you doing? Captain Truth. Ha ha ha. Tate versus Paul. Yeah. Got his jaw broke. You know, boy, that hurts boxing, that kind of mess. I was, hi, Pappy, how you doing? I was watching boxing back during the, Marciano. And of course, the Frazier Ali was the first real big, when television and boxing were coming into the fore. It was Frazier Ali that really started all the hoopla that led up to a lot of the sports entertainment of the future, you know. But anyway, So I've seen so many greats over the years, and people get hurt. It was hard to watch Ali decline. It was hard to watch Ken Norton give an interview. His brains were mush, and so was Ernie Shavers. And Joe Frazier, not so bad, but still you could tell he was punch drunk. And so many others. And, the sport, it's in danger, of being rejected because of that kind of stuff. And then you have Jake Paul going in there as a cruiserweight up against a 6'6", 260-pounder when he barely breaks 200 pounds. It's foolish. But I guess it's not foolish if you're cashing a $90 million check. But the sport doesn't deserve that kind of spectacle. And he just as soon could have lost his life, or been seriously injured where he could never recover. So Olympic champion, that's nothing to fool with when you're a novice YouTuber turned boxer. But anyway, I wasn't going to talk about that, but since I am, not doing the sport any favors at all. A noble sport. How dare you belittle and put at risk such a noble sport, storied sport. But anyway, let's see what else is going on here. Come on, studio. Treat me right, man. Here we go. This is the USS has seized. They did board it. This is the third one. Earlier today, I heard they were pursuing it, which wouldn't be very, very hard. Very hard to pursue a big fat tanker with any kind of a military vessel. The U.S. has seized a third tanker near Venezuela, according to Bloomberg. The Bella 1 ship flying under the Panamanian flag is under U.S. sanctions. Now, they didn't put any military around that one. They wanted to show off and put it around one they thought was hands off. It was heading to Venezuela for loading. And then here, what's this? Oh, the Swedish Coast Guard detained a Ruski ship, Adler, in the Baltic Sea. Now, Trump gets along with Swedes, doesn't he? If I'm not mistaken, he had some good meetings with the Swedish Prime Minister. And I don't think they would have done that without talking to Donald J. Trump. And Putin knows that. So I wouldn't look for anything harsh to happen. What the heck? That doesn't want to get off the screen. Get out of here. You're out of here. So anyway, let's see. What's this? Here's another report. Let's see what this is. Oh, who's this guy? Y'all know? He looks like John of God. Remember him? Oh, gee, that's another name I'm not allowed to say. But who is he, folks? We got to get to know the players. Who is this player? He was mouthing off against Donald Trump the other day. Now he's mouthing off against not only Trump, but America in general. Anybody know who this character is? A worm. Hi, Melvita. How you doing? Sandman. How you doing? Jerry's here. Yes, Colombian president. And what's his name? The Colombian president is making fun of the Americans' side statements. And I didn't play the video because he's speaking in his native gibberish, so I will read it. Texas is a captured territory. It wasn't sold, it was seized. Well, even if that's true, live with it. The same goes for California. Yeah, right. and the entire southern part of the United States. Oh, and yet the Latin American president can't say, give it back to us. They stole it from us. On the other hand, Trump can say about Venezuelan oil, give it back to me because it was stolen from me. How come? Let's make an agreement. Let's put everything on the negotiating table. Talk about delusional and discuss it as equals, not under the threat of missiles aimed at the poor. See how these commies do? They always protecting the poor. Well, they create the poor. They do more than anybody to create the flipping poor. And it's not just about oil. It's where the Venezuelan government made deals with U.S. businesses, like I've used in the past as an example, Cargill, and then they nationalized and stole all the assets, cash, land, equipment, everything like communists do. And their own people can't own stuff, all right? The communists own everything because they're going to take care of you, whether you like it or not, okay? They know what's best. So anyway, he's delusional, and all the more reason to go in there and put the Ajax on this individual, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, come on now. My studio is a little wonky, but that's okay. Yeah, we got Texas because you all had a military junta and no real standing army worth a rat's behind, unprincipled, and basically, who's the most popular general? That will be our leader. None of them can read or write. Whose fault is that? These countries that are pissing and moaning that they can't come here and loot everything we have. Why don't you have in your own country, find some heroes? Anybody who could be a hero has a boot on their neck, okay? Raise some principled children that can grow up to create a government that's righteous, okay, that has laws that protect eternal truths, okay? Have some courage and straighten your own damn country out. So anyway, what's this next one? Tulsi Gabbard. Hi, Tulsi. And I didn't know this about her, but anyway, she put out a long statement. The U.S. National Intelligence Director, Tulsi Gabbard, called Reuters' claim that Russia is allegedly planning an invasion of Europe a lie. Not only Reuters, but the representatives of the European Union are claiming it. According to her, this is a lie and propaganda. Yes, it is. And the agency, she claims, is deliberately acting in the interests of warmongers who want to undermine President Trump's relentless efforts to end this bloody war. That's exactly right. According to her. Not only according to her, I'm going to interject, but Donald Trump and me. What NATO and the EU really want is to draw the United States directly into a war with Russia. That's exactly right, Tulsi. Somebody said something about her nationality. I forgot what it was. Here you go. I'll put this one up here. Epstein files came out. A photo of Donald Trump with a known prostitute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, when T was at the Alamo, Debbie. Germany's restoring their army. I don't know about that. I don't think their people are up to it. But they are noting quite a resistance to the immigration. Okay, you'll see that being reversed. Off the coast of Venezuela, the U.S. detained a tanker that is not subject to sanctions. That's the one I was talking about. Axios reports this, citing sources. According to them, this may indicate that the armada that Trump assembled at sea off Venezuela is not just a show of force. This is a message to Maduro, said one of the sources familiar with the situation of the U.S. Special Forces boarding a second tanker. Now, we got a third one. This is the one I was talking about beforehand. A second tanker with Venezuelan oil on Saturday. Even if we don't confiscate the oil, it will make it clear to everyone who decides to participate in this game that we will thwart any attempts, writes Axios. A number of media outlets report that the tanker was transporting oil intended for China. China! Well, we need to get something out of it. I don't know. Pay for our fuel for taking them over. I think we should keep the oil myself. And maybe we will. I don't know. The Kremlin has made it clear that it will not accept changes to Trump's peace plan. So here we got the Europeans trying to support Zelensky's dream and meddle with what Trump has laid out, where, according to Trump, just about everybody else in the Ukrainian government is happy with it, except Zelensky. And the Russians have said it's a framework they can work with. So, okay, all right. Oh, here come the Europeans. Whining and dining Zelensky, giving him money. What did they give him? $105 billion they pledged so far. So they will not accept changes to Trump's peace plan, which are being insisted upon by Kiev and the Europeans. I would say Zelensky and the Europeans. The changes being made to Trump's peace plan by the Ukrainians and Europeans are not bringing us closer to reaching agreements, said Yuri Ushakov, the Russian president's aide. He also said that a trilateral meeting of experts from Russia, the USA, and Ukraine is not being prepared yet. Well, that's because the European Union wants to stick their nose in. And hey, it's between A and B, so see your way out. See your way out of it. Hi, Larry. How you doing? Farmy, how you doing? Nice to see you all. Welcome aboard as we discuss what's going on in this big old world. Haha, I had to get a screenshot. I'll play that in a minute. But anyway, let me, where is it where, I want to find, is this a video where, I hate these videos with a black screen. I can't tell what the hell's going on in them. Oh, this is more CNN's crap. I'll get to that in a minute. I got to remember that one with the blank screen. But anyway, I thought I had two videos of, what's that girl's name? That singer. Is this her? Nicki Minaj. Yeah, this is the one I want to play second. But there's one a video of her walking out on stage with Erica Kirk. But I don't think I have that one. But anyway, I'll get to Nicki Minaj in a little bit. What's this one about?
We have some breaking news, Justin.
This is a report about another BLM so-called leader, a leader of BLM. How are you guys doing, BLM leaders? How are you doing?
And we have some breaking news just into the WBTM 13 newsroom. A co-founder of Black Lives Matter Birmingham has been arrested.
According to jail records, Eric Hall was arrested late last night and charged with domestic assault. The charge is listed as a misdemeanor. Records show he remains behind bars at the Birmingham City Jail. We're working to learn more about what led up to that arrest, and we'll share that with you on air and online.
Yeah, he's still sitting in jail. A misdemeanor, but he's still in jail. So I don't know. Their support network might be crumbling. Oh, look at this guy here. Massachusetts. Are you all proud of yourselves in Massachusetts? This is from Jack Posovic's outfit. Massachusetts mayor requests a translator in court hearing due to his poor English. Mayor Brian DePena required a translator to participate in the proceedings. Can you all believe that? Of course, I don't know what town he's a mayor of, but I think things are going a little too far when you have mayors of cities or towns in your state that can't participate in a court hearing because of their language barrier. But I'm sure he's a citizen and he's able to make brand new citizens. Tim Walz. He's not looking good, is he? He looks like he's lost weight. And, it's all Donald Trump's fault. And they're picking on him. It's weaponization. And he's going to straighten it out. That's why he got elected, don't you know?
Look, who's ever in charge, and I said, unlike the president, I'm the governor now. Whether these programs happened before we got here or afterwards, it doesn't matter. We're here now. We're the ones fixing it. You have my guarantee on this is that I certainly will have this thing fixed, and you see that we're on the front end of it. That's how this works. And so would I have wanted to stop this? Would I have gone out? If you think the governor goes out and checks somebody on Medicaid and that they were there, no, but that's somebody in government needed to do that. And if they didn't do that, or if there were loopholes in this, and what we found is these are poorly written and it left openings, and the goal was to get the money out. We'll fix that. But yeah, I'll take accountability for it. But what you're seeing here is you're seeing a weaponization. We'll continue to fix it. They're going to continue to come up with numbers that don't have it there, and it's sensationalized. I don't expect anything different from this administration.
Boy, that's some fast talking. He's going to take care of it. And the numbers don't represent that. It goes back years and years. Yes, I saw where somebody said the 1776. Debbie, that's right. The money in the accounts for the 1776 checks. Carl Higbee put this up. The libs will defend. Somalis stealing $18 billion, $300 billion lost, stolen, laundered in Ukraine, billions in Medicare fraud, billions in foreign aid fraud, billions to left-wing NGOs, but have a problem with $1,776 being paid to troops at Christmas. Wow. Yeah, wow is right. These people are insane. The left is sickening. That's what I keep saying. The left is sickening. Speaking of sickening, what the hell's going on with this? Diamond Silk reported. DOJ moves to revive cases against Comey, Letitia James. This is part of what I was talking about, well, I call it an operation, where on this platform, and I'm talking about you and then Tizzle, because I'm on Rumble also. I'm simulcasting on Rumble. So I don't know if they played any on Rumble. And if somebody on Rumble is listening, put it in the comments or in the chats. Did you all see advertisements for a video about the power of jury nullification? I know this platform, as in you and then Tizzle, was playing it for weeks or months about the power of jury nullification, and not to be ashamed of it. And you have to tell your truth. In other words, break the law. So this is a direct result of it, where they won't indict these two. So I don't know. I just as soon see them tied into a conspiracy against the commander-in-chief and have this stuff go into a military tribunal where we don't have to deal with this crap. Because if it's a conspiracy that began while Trump was president and commander-in-chief, and it carries on after he leaves office, it still can be tied back to the military. Just like with Mark Kelly, he can be recalled into service, even though what he's doing, he's not active duty. He still can be called to account by the military. So, just make it all matters of national security. And anyway, I'm going to play this clip of Nicki Minaj, even though I don't have the first one where she walks in. But I like what she says here. And, here she is. She's used to performing. They have a stage set up. I guess they got backup dancers and an orchestra. And, sometimes they lip sync. I don't know. I wouldn't be belting out notes every night. But anyway, it's different, I think, when you are in this forum that millions of people are going to watch you, and you're out of your element. You're not singing. You're not in costume. You're not backed up by other people, and you're just talking about your notions about issues of the day. But I think she handles it very well, and I like the way she finished up with this. But anyway, here you go.
So those of you who know, Charlie was very good about having a surprise for every AmFest. And we are so blessed to have you. We are so grateful.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I am honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
What was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
What was the turning point? Well, I just got tired of being pushed around. Yeah. Sometimes you just get tired of it, and then you realize, wait a minute, I have something inside of me that's stronger than what's out there. That's right. So when you've had enough, you realize, wait a minute, why do I even care about these people and what they think? Who are they? they don't even know who they are. So I'm not going to back down anymore. I'm not going to back down ever again.
Yeah, there you go. I had to pull that other clip up real quick, but that's not going to back down ever again. You know, and she hadn't been in the spotlight like these, well, I'll say it, satanic celebrity. I barely knew her. And turns out, you know, she didn't like the way things were going. These people don't even know who they are. What do I care what they think of me? And not going to back down anymore. And that's a wonderful example for young people when they're being peer pressured to say, oh, yeah, it's okay to be think you're of a different sex or what. No, you're stupid. Don't back down to them. Don't give in to them. And I'm glad that she's came up with that little statement. But anyway, here, I don't know. What do you all make of this picture? We're talking about the Epstein stuff. There's Bill Clinton. What are they got silk pajamas on, or what is that? I think it's a ritual type dress. You know, and we're easing into this. And we know that temple was, they called it a temple for a reason. What do you do in a temple? And who were they worshiping? You know what I'm saying? But they're not coming right out with it right now. But this is a creepy picture with the red curtains in the background. It's not quite robes. What is that? Some kind of briefcase? What's in there? Like a doctor's bag or something? Who knows? But anyway, people are going to start wondering about this stuff. And of course, I was going to put this in a thumbnail. I might do it in a future thumbnail. There's Bill. There's Bill in a hot tub. And, you know, it looks like some kind of Roman or Greek creepy. You know, it doesn't look like anything you want your daughter or granddaughter to be around. But anyway, here, look at this. Somebody put this up. Look at this. That is a crappy Photoshop job. With this supposed Epstein in the background with no shirt on, and Trump's sitting there with a suit and tie, and Epstein's got no shirt on, and this liberal put up Trump's hand is on this little girl's leg, and this is not a real photo, and it has been debunked. It's a Photoshop bunch of crap. They don't have anything new to put out about Donald Trump. Where do I got Scott Jennings? Let's see. This might be it right here. Wait a minute. Let me see. Scott Jennings called it the Clinton files. Why are you calling me Epstein files? I got two Scott Jennings clips. Let's see which one this is.
The Democratic Party, Kate, did an autopsy on why they lost in 2024. They are not going to release it to the public. How is this not a continuation of all of the reasons why the public doesn't trust the Democratic Party, thinks that they are?
This is laughable. So why put Democrats in a barrel? Because the facts are Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the
18% of Americans approve of Democrats in Congress.
Listen, Republicans control the House, The Senate.
We're an equal opportunity, by the way.
It's like
television shows.
You guys are down to
today. Okay, yes.
I'm confused with what's going on here.
You guys are down to friends, family, illegals, and health insurance executives. That's who you got right now. You need an autopsy.
Oh, yeah, this is where he says, how narrow their base is. A bunch of health executives and trannies, and, you're down to nothing. But this guy is trying to push the narrative. You're going to hear this over and over again. The Republicans control everything. The House, the Senate, the presidency. Like, they're responsible for decades of malfeasance, misfeasance, theft. That excuses it all, right? Because the Republicans for 11 months have been in control. I don't think so. Here, I think this is the one where Scott Jennings says, call it what it is. It's not the Epstein files. It's the Clinton files.
Scott, don't you think that because they are not releasing everything that Congress and the president signed to say you have to release this in 30 days, doesn't it give more fodder for the conspiracies that exist? I mean, they're not following the law.
Well, look, they've released how many documents tonight? 200,000?
More.
More? 400?
10% of that.
Okay, so a good faith effort is being made to release files tonight.
Really?
They're obviously doing that. And I think as it relates to redactions, I mean, my impression is that there's a whole lot of names of victims in there and minors and other people that you probably wouldn't want to release, and they do need to be redacted. Regarding Bill Clinton, I'm sorry to tell you, the reason that Bill Clinton's picture is in the Epstein files is because this has always been a story about Bill Clinton and not Donald Trump. We should call it the Clinton files, not the Epstein files. That's what we're learning tonight. This is the Clinton files. This is the blowing up in the face of the Democrats over this. It's Bill Clinton. This is a story about Democrats and Bill Clinton, and it's always been that way.
Yeah, I'm sitting there reading the chats. Well, do you notice anything about are you talking about this CNN host? The one on the left? Horseface? Is that the one you're talking about? Let me play it to where maybe I can freeze it at a certain point.
Scott, don't you think
what do you notice about it?
Not releasing everything that
got a daggone Adam's apple.
To say you have to release this in 30 days.
I mean, she's ugly. I'm sorry. Not this one. This one ain't no prize either. But wait till you see her face. But is that Adam's apple? I'll try and freeze it. Oh shoot! Daggone it. Anyway, you saw it, didn't you?
These files tonight.
She looks awful. Wait a second. Let me see if it comes back up again.
I mean, my impression is that there's a whole lot of names of.
What is that? She got an Adam's apple? But anyway, she's another one. Looks like she rolled down a hill and somebody's whacked her in the face with a shovel. Not overly attractive. But anyway, he got Jesse Waters at TPUSA. Jesse Wawa. Let's see what Jesse's got to say.
They indict him in Washington. They indict him in New York. Fannie gets him. And so I saw the president on the golf course right after that, and I said, Mr. President, my wife saw your mugshot. She says you look fierce. And he goes, Jesse, let me tell you what happened. I get in there. Guy goes, click. I go, can I see it? He says, no. I go, can we do another? He says, no. I go, uh-oh. So I'm riding back on the jet, and my lawyer shows me a picture of what I look like. First thing I do, I call Melania. And I said, baby, I know who's going to do our Christmas card. It's the Fulton County Jail photographer.
Yeah, we're dealing with humor, but let me tell you something. It's something that tore the country apart, what they did. That's what I was saying. I had other things I could put in this list here. I'm just saying these are the 4 ripest things to take care of right now. I thought about putting, because I don't have the word arrest in here anywhere. Court martial, impeach, deport, jail. Arrest Fannie Willis or other people, which I'll get to in a minute. There's so many that I don't think would cause uproar in the body politic at all. But anyway, here's Laura Loomer. Talk about the Brown University shooter. Parents are paying Brown University over $75,000 a year. Yet we are learning the school has almost zero usable surveillance footage of the recent shooting because they are allegedly turning their cameras off to protect Palestinian students and illegal aliens from being reported. Remember I talked about that the other night? Reports indicate a homeless man was able to access the building where the shooting took place, and Fox News confirmed the shooter walked right out of a convenient, quote, blind spot where there were no cameras. Brown is also frantically scrubbing pro-Hamas radical Mustafa Karbouche from their website because his presence suggests they are in direct violation of their July settlement with President Trump to stop anti-Semitism on college campuses. It appears that Brown cares more about hiding their noncompliance to save their $8 billion endowment than they care about actual campus security. And now 12 Brown University students and an MIT professor are dead. So I don't think that's going unnoticed. And the families involved that lost loved ones will have some recourse. I am certain of that. Anyway, speaking of more people that could be on that list, I just put up a list of 4 things that could happen that I would like to see happen. Something happen before the end of the year. But anyway, this starts off with Jamie Dimon, but this is Maria. This was today, and I'll insert some comments. Jamie Dimon talking about Arctic frost. And then Devin Nunes comes on after about a minute. He's not totally buying what Jamie Dimon's saying. Of course, what does he represent? J.P. Morgan? We got J.P. Morgan and a couple other big financial institutions that are involved with Epstein and have been involved with bribes in the Virgin Islands, all different stuff like that. So we know that Nunes is going to be activated, if not already. But anyway, we'll go ahead and play it.
Wanted that information.
People have to grow up here, okay, and stop making up things and stuff like that. So, and I can't talk about an individual account. We do not debank people's religious or political affiliations. Number 2 is I don't like debanking people. We live under very strict rules and regulations and requirements, and to protect the country, and we have to report things to the government. We're required to report things to the government. We don't give information to the government just because they ask. We're subpoenaed. We're required by court to give it to the government. And I've been following subpoenas with this administration, the last administration, the administration before.
And that was J.P. Morgan Chase Chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon responding to claims from Trump media that it was debanked and that its bank records were sent to former special counsel Jack Smith as part of his Arctic frost investigation that targeted President Trump and his supporters. On Wednesday, Smith sat for a closed-door deposition in front of the House Judiciary Committee for more than 8 hours, saying politics had no role in his investigations and prosecutions of President Trump. Joining me now with reaction is Trump Media CEO and Chairman of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board.
Devin, great to see you. Thank you so much.
I don't think the American people would bat one eye if Jack Smith got arrested. And he should be arrested, in my opinion. But Devin Nunes is going to recount the crap that Jack Smith pulled.
So much for being here, and you've got big news of your own. So we're going to get to Trump Media and Technology's merger in a moment. But first, you just heard Jamie Dimon's response to you telling me on this program that J.P. Morgan sent over your bank records to Jack Smith. How do you respond?
Well, what I can tell you is just sticking to the facts, and that is that the Florida Attorney General, Uthmeier, has an investigation into J.P. Morgan, maybe others, for getting our bank records. We are a Florida company. We expect to be protected. We believe Florida laws were broken. I think this is potentially even a criminal investigation. So we're happy that the Florida Attorney General is looking into this. We hope that J.P. Morgan cooperates. I'll take Jamie Dimon at his word that maybe he didn't know about it. I find that hard to believe. I understand he wants to cooperate with investigations, but after watching the witch hunt that went on for the last 10 years against President Trump and his family involving this whole Russia hoax, he or his people should have known better. And I won't get into the back and forth that we had at the time, but we essentially called him out and the bank, not him personally, but we called out J.P. Morgan at the time and said, this looks very political. So, that's all information that we will turn over to the Florida Attorney General, and we may take actions of our own. We'll just see where this investigation lands.
So, what about the comment and the fact that he made, and it's true, they got subpoenaed, okay? Jack Smith is using corporate America to do its dirty work. They subpoenaed Verizon. They subpoenaed AT&T. They subpoenaed the banks. They wanted
phone records. Even Kevin McCarthy, he was the...
My other notion to put on the thumbnail was to arrest James Boasberg, the judge. Jack Smith subpoenaed those entities, but who's the judge that approved these subpoenas? Was it Boasberg, or was it that other judge that is a member of La Raza, who was working with those two FBI agents, Strzok and Page, and went to dinner with them? Was he behind it? I think the judges that are involved in this stuff should also be subject to criminal prosecution.
One of the leading people in the country. He was Speaker of the House. And what happened? AT&T gave it up because they got subpoenaed, and Jack Smith wanted his phone records.
Yeah, and part of what needs to happen here is people that broke the law need to be criminally prosecuted. So it's nice that the Congress is looking into this, but ultimately the American people, the Department of Justice, the FBI, have had a very dark chapter in U.S. history. It has to be cleaned up. There's multiple investigations, at least reported, that are going on into all of these witch hunts that went on against the president. And as you know, I've said for many, many years now, number one, this was all a cover-up and a con job by the DNC, by President Obama, to cover up for what? For Hillary Clinton's emails. I know this goes back a long way, but that's what started in 2016. We know that there was a cover-up. That's where the conspiracy begins, and it goes all the way to the raid at Mar-a-Lago and then into Jack Smith's phony investigation. And, furthermore, Maria, just what did we learn this week? Another important fact. I came on this show right after the Mar-a-Lago raid, and I said, this is outrageous. I know exactly what these lowlifes are looking for. They're looking for our report, the House Republican report, that we did because it's a damning report. Now, the report wasn't at Mar-a-Lago, but they went looking for it. So the National Archives, which made that referral, needs to be investigated. And I think this whole, now that you have the FBI itself saying at the time they were uncomfortable with raiding Mar-a-Lago, and the fact that they were looking for our document, should, I think, give people pause for a document that they had no evidence or even a clue that
Lago had our document. That, by the way, was sitting.
Guess who's got the document? Guess who's got the document? Maria Bartiromo. And he's saying a criminal investigation in the state of Florida. So the state can bring felony charges. Okay, we got Ron DeSantis in there. But anyway, you'll hear Maria say, I got the report right here. What they were looking for, really looking for at Mar-a-Lago, and they had no probable cause.
Sitting over at the CIA, locked behind a safe in a safe.
Yeah. And I have the document in my hands right now, the majority staff report on the intelligence community assessment, Russia's influence campaign targeting the 2016 U.S. presidential election. In this report, there are damning pieces of evidence that shows that this was actually a witch hunt from day one. And you think they wanted that, and that's why they went to Mar-a-Lago. But, Devin, we've been talking about this for 10 years, and still I haven't seen any accountability. Will there ever be any prosecutions?
Well, look, that's the important point of what came. I said this on your show, 3 or 4 years ago, whenever the raid happened. And then it took until just last week when the news broke that, yes, what I said 3 years ago was actually true. They were looking for that document that you have in your hand. So what does that mean? That means that I think that Mar-a-Lago, President Trump and his family are at the center of this. I think that in Florida, this now puts jurisdiction clearly in Florida. And that's how you get accountability, is by bringing criminal charges, criminal investigations in Florida against people who perpetrated this on the American people. Because, look, as we know, we've got all kinds of problems in the court systems. Anything that ends up in the broader D.C. area or in a blue state is problematic. The beauty of this is that the jurisdiction now, because of that evidence that came out in the past week, that they were looking for that document at Mar-a-Lago, I think that's the center of this whole investigation, because it was preposterous. It sent messages all over the globe that America now is a third world country where we're raiding a former president's home. It was a message sent around the world. It now has to be cleaned up. People are going to be held.
That's why Trump was saying we were a dead country. That's why Saudi prince was saying, we thought you were a dead country, now you've come back. Because if this kind of stuff is permitted and doesn't have consequences, we don't really have a country. Okay, we're a bunch of slaves and puppets, part of this global new world order. We were dead as a country when they were allowed to do this stuff, but they're not allowed anymore. And I correct myself. This will probably be the DOJ. Okay, federal government can go down there and prosecute in Florida, and we won't have to worry so much about these rigged juries and grand juries like they have with Letitia James and Comey. That stuff happening up north. Okay? But anyway, let him finish.
Strongly feel that way, and this was an important piece of evidence that came out in the last week.
Well, I mean, what if it doesn't get concluded while President Trump is in office? What if President Trump finishes his term and leaves office? Does everything go away?
Well, look, I think if President Trump leaves office, it will depend on who follows in his footsteps, but you can't take 10, 15 years of corruption and clean it up in 10 months. But that's what I know that Kash Patel, Attorney General Bondi, they're doing their best to get it done. And look, let's see. A lot of evidence has come out. First, you got to get the facts, you got to get the evidence, and then you have to build the case. My guess is that there'll be multiple investigations that are ongoing right now.
And the Jack Smith behind closed doors interview. What is your takeaway there? He said politics had nothing to do with anything that he was doing, Devin.
Right. Jack Smith is a leftist. He's a very dangerous man who's been at the center of power, working with Obama's top people. He's known as their henchman, the guy that they sent in, their fixer, so to speak. So whatever Jack Smith says in public, he actually means the opposite. Or another way to say it is, whatever he accuses you of doing is what he's actually doing.
Yeah, and I've seen that before many times, as the Democrats have liked to say in the past that President Trump is a threat to democracy, while in fact they are in the middle of obstructing democracy by selecting people instead of electing people, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly, and that's where I think these investigations need to go. And look, ultimately, justice delayed is justice denied. But I feel strongly that the team that President Trump has in place is going to track all these issues down and hold accountable.
All right, well,
Jack Smith is a dangerous Marxist. He's their leg breaker. And what did he give American people a little lesson on? Mirroring. What he's accusing you of doing, he is doing. So I don't think the American people would bat an eye if Jack Smith got arrested or a grand jury was impaneled and indicted him. A grand jury. That might be the route they take. So we'll see. We got Congress plowing up some facts. And that is what the grand jury is going to be using. This is from Trending Politics, Diamond Silk. New veteran Democrat operative charged with heinous crimes against children. Isn't that something? A veteran Democratic Party operative in Virginia, the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, bedroom communities for the Magic Kingdom. He's been arrested and charged with distributing child pornography. Federal prosecutors announced Friday. What's his name? Let's put it out on blast. Randon Alexander Sprinkle. Who names their kid Randon? Randon Alexander Sprinkle, a resident of Henrico. I hope you get a long time in prison, my friend. A long time in prison. Another one of their operatives going down. A long time operative. L.A. jury returns not guilty verdict for tow truck driver who moved an ICE vehicle. Here we go, folks. Jury nullification. I told you about that operation. Bobby Nunez, a 30-year-old tow truck driver from Los Angeles, was found not guilty. The jury. After moving a federal vehicle during the middle of an immigration enforcement operation. Was he charged by the feds, or was it the state who charged him with a federal crime? I hope they can do. You can't be having these boneheads dragging off federal vehicles in the middle of an operation. But see, it's one more bit of evidence about lawlessness and insurrection against the rule of law. What's this? Oh, yeah, the lady who got picked on. The lady that got picked on by that so-called nurse or whatever the hell she thinks she is or says she is, and thought she was doing the world a favor. Watch me straighten this Target employee out. This racist wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt. Watch me cuss her out and put her in her place. Well, you got your ass fired, okay? You put up your little whiny apology on X for the world to see. And guess what? This nice lady got her fundraiser is over $250,000. Fundraiser in support of an elderly Target employee who suffered vicious harassment because she was wearing a Charlie Kirk themed shirt has surpassed more than $250,000 after your footage came out with you and your big mouth. So yeah, you can put up a GoFundMe and see how many of your fellow liberal cretins will throw money at you. And I don't think it's going to happen. Oh my God. Did you hear about this, folks? Jack Posobiec's group put this up. If you want to know the gory details, that creator I talk about, his name, Fat and Opinionated is one of his channels, and Cinema Shogun is another channel he's got. He tells about the details. I don't want to get into the details of it. Texas high school student charged in fatal scissor stabbing of a classmate after fight over a vape pen. Andre, A-U-N-D-R-E, Andre Matthews, accused of killing a fellow student, Andrew Meismer, on Wednesday after confrontation that began during a science class. And, there's a racial component. Andre, you can guess which one he is, versus Andrew. Okay. But the details are grotesque. I mean, this person reveled in what he'd done. I'll put it that way. Anyway, here's is this Comer talk? Oh, malignant clown. Let's see if this is Comer talking about what Congress is going to do with dopey Tim Walz, I believe. I don't know. Let's see what this clip is about. But the headline is about malignant clown Jeffries talking about Comer. But anyway, let's see what it says.
As for the Minnesota fraud, Congressman Comer tells Fox that he is prepared to subpoena Governor Walz to come in and testify before the House Oversight Committee if Walz doesn't cooperate with their investigation, Brett.
Bill, sometimes these things take time. What's the next step here?
So you heard Congressman Comer talk about wanting to get those bank records. He said specifically what he's looking for, things called suspicious activity reports. He wants to try to track what, if any, money was sent from Minnesota back to Somalia, who was sending it, who got it, how much of it was taxpayer dollars.
All right, we'll follow it. Bill, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe they will, the subpoena will force out for some information that will support a criminal indictment against him. Let's hope that is the case. Fish, do me a favor and don't put that letter in, because that still gets me in trouble. Spell it C-U-E, okay? Spell it C-U-E, and that will save me some heartache, because that is in the algorithm. But what's not in the algorithm is my link for Buy Me a Coffee. I put a link in the chats if anybody at the 127 mark. If anybody wants to help support the channel. If you notice, there haven't been any commercials interrupting your chi. That's spelled C-H-I-E. And I got my my thumb and my pointer finger together on both hands, and my other finger sticking straight out. I got my chi going on. And you don't have ads interrupting your chi. That's because I am not monetized. This is a totally viewer-supported channel. And I do appreciate everybody who's given me support this week. Wayne making a couple of trips to buy me a coffee, along with Mike and Bev also, and making a couple of trips. And Miss Mendersue and Norm and Roland. I haven't seen Roland tonight. Hope he's doing all right. Probably out on a date. Sorry, ladies. Roland might be out on a date tonight. Thank you, Fish. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. But I think we're going to get to a point where we'll be able to talk about that letter, just like I'm able to talk about the election being stolen. They used to take me down for that. I'm able to talk about how awful it is to mutilate young people, all right, because the President of the United States is talking about it. And many other things that we used to get bombed out for every foggy day. So anyway, folks, my whole studio got wiped out, so I don't have my Moses thrown down the 10 Commandments or my subscribed emblem. But I will give you this little tidbit here from, let me shrink this down. And this is from Homeland Security, this video. And it says, this Christmas our hearts grow as the legal population shrinks. Christmas after mass deportations. Now, if you watch after the live stream, there may not be music in here. I don't know if I get thumped because of the music, and I'll have to edit the music out. Some more of my precious time being taken up. But I think if the Department of Homeland Security posts something, I should be able to repost it. Right? But anyway, who the heck knows? We'll find out. But speaking of precious time, I'll play this video for you, and I hope you enjoy it. But once again, I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow night. If you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. And don't forget, those thumbs ups help the video get around. So I hope you all have a great evening. Enjoy this clip. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.